Purpose.
I am your host, Donna Janelle.
And I'm your co-host, Pamela.
And this season, we have some exciting sessions. We got parenting from prison, parenting after prison, cultural differences in parenting, financial literacy. We got all this exciting stuff coming this season.
And we're taking parenting with a purpose around the world. Good evening. As you know, I am the co-host to Parenting with a Purpose. And tonight we have two beautiful faces. I have Aaisha Staples with me and also Mary Matthews. I'll let them introduce themselves. But here at Parenting Purpose, you know we are bringing back the responsibility, the nobility, and the beauty back in parenting. Tonight, we are going to be speaking on parenting for yourself versus parenting for your children. And as I said, we have two lovely, beautiful faces. Aaisha, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Aaisha Staples. I am born and raised in Chester, PA. I am a mother of four, and I'm here to talk about my journey.
Hi, I'm Mary Matthews, and I've been here before, so I'm just hanging out with Parenting with a Purpose tonight.
Yeah, so tonight we are excited. Aaisha is our special guest this evening. We want to thank you for coming on, showing face.
Thank you.
And we know that you are a mother of four. So if you could go ahead and, tell us your ages. Tell us boy, girl, boy and girl mom. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So I have four and 3 boys, 1 girl. Oldest, 13, 10, 6, and my youngest is a little baby girl. She's 4.
Hold on. So when you say you got 3 boys and 1 girl,
Yes.
what that household look like with baby girl?
It's actually, believe it or not, my household is a very calm household. Believe it or not. She's bossy.
Yeah.
She acts like a boy, but she's really big at, I am a girl. Make it very clear, I am a girl.
And she's always going to be well protected. I love that. And how is it for you being a mother of 3, raising 3 young kings?
The boys, raising the boys?
Yes.
Hard. It's not an easy task. It's very difficult because they are really big on wanting me to understand them. Okay. And as a woman, I can't really understand males. They're not men, but my little babies, I treat them like babies sometimes. So letting them understand that I'm a woman and they need that man to lead them into manhood. So I think that's the biggest struggle.
I like how you said that. Like, they need that man. Like, I'm not trying to, you hear sometimes the woman like, I'm the mom and the dad.
I have no desire.
I could do this, I could do that. So I appreciate you, you being vulnerable enough to even say that, being transparent, to even bring voice to that, because sometimes raising children, not having that male figure, you feel like you gotta try to replace or be that, knowing that really you can. So, son, actually, I don't know what you're experiencing at this moment. So can you try to help me, invite me into your world so I can maybe get you the resources and help? So how do you go about that challenge?
So I can say that it's no longer a challenge for myself. Because I do have a husband.
Okay.
So we have that father figure in the house.
Okay.
What I will say is before he entered the household, although they had fathers outside of the household who are very active, it has become more of a home because he's able to navigate them. He's able to navigate me through the struggles that I have with them. I'm a lot more calmer. As a single mom, I was like enraged all the time. Every time I'm talking to them, I'm yelling, I'm screaming. I just don't know how to be, loving when I have to be this dominant parent.
I can understand.
So, starting off, I wasn't a single mom from the beginning with my oldest son. So I was in a relationship before I had him. And after having him, at 1 year old, I became a single mother.
Okay.
Hardest journey in my life. Hardest journey in my life. So for maybe a year into his life, I became single.
Okay.
A working mom too. First job ever. Being a mother, having to work. I had to work one of them low end jobs. So going to work.
What are you considering low end?
For me, I would never work at a fast food restaurant, I said,
Okay.
when I was younger. But I wasn't 16, 17. I was 20.
So you think it hit home a little different because
20
the
years
age?
old. I gotta go make tacos. I don't want to make tacos, but I don't have anything under my belt to tell them I can do this, and this. I have a baby at home.
Right.
I have to take care of my child. I went to Taco Bell, but thank goodness going to Taco Bell taught me a lot about life. I wasn't a regular worker, as in my eyes. I always say you a regular worker. I wasn't a regular worker for long. Maybe
Right.
about 4 months in, I became a team leader. Team leader became a manager. Manager became manager. Now I'm under the RGM.
Wow.
So, but
So you went all the way up.
I went all the way up quick, right? But at home, that mother, I wasn't the greatest. I worked crazy hours of the day, 5 p.m., 3 a.m. I'm at home. I'm having like panic attacks because he's crying. I'm so tired. And I eventually, focused on myself at that point. Although my son was around all the time. My mother was extremely helpful.
So you had a support system.
I had a support system. Not only my mother, his father was too. Very supportive. His father's mother, his aunties, all that. I love them.
So you had a village.
I had a village. But even with that village, I was lost. I didn't know what to do as a mom. It's my first time. Mind you, I've never changed a baby diaper. I've never held a baby. I've never made a baby bottle. And I have so many nieces and nephews.
So this was completely foreign.
Oh, it was foreign to me. The crying, I don't know what to do. So, moving on. Being a mom, I don't know if I was as attached as I was supposed to be. You know how when you rub your belly and you talk to that child and be like, Mommy, can't wait to meet you? I don't remember that.
Really?
No, I don't. The disconnect was there, I might say. So with the huge village, I still had a disconnect as a mom.
Hold on. Can I ask you something?
ahead.
So, speaking of that, because I know I've talked to multiple different moms, especially with being a doula, and I'll have moms say, like, oh, when I gave birth, I thought I was supposed to cry. Like, so do I not love my child? Like, they ask all kinds of things. So, this is, like, new to me hearing, like, I don't remember, like, rubbing my belly and things like that. So, when you found out that you were having your first child, like, do you kind of remember those thoughts?
I do. All right, so before I found out, I was in high school. I had a troubled junior high.
Okay.
My junior high school years, it was very troubled. I was fighting. Let me make it clear. I feel like I was getting bullied as a young teenager, but it created this angry person in me. So as I grew and went to high school, I was a fighter. I got expelled in the 12th grade. This was 2010. Actually, my year that I was going to graduate. I was supposed to graduate in June. I got expelled maybe like late January of that year. Drastic. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm like, I don't know. Your girl wanted to be a dancer on the screens, like
Elian.
like Usher background dancer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that kind of dancer.
Okay.
I never had a desire to show my body in no types of ways.
Okay.
But the background dancer of Usher, that's all I wanted to do. So I love Sierra. So I was a real big dancer entertainer, right? So right before I found out I was pregnant, I asked my mother to sign me up for an audition. And I was supposed to go to Atlanta to audition to be one of those dancers, for Usher. And it was a BT concert the first year that he did the BET Awards. I mean, not the first year, but it was like this song, dun 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 dun, dun that song.
Okay.
I wanted to be.
As if
on
you
stage.
remind me.
No, that's old.
Do that beat again.
Dun 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 dun.
You're gonna have me
Good
looking
kissing.
it up.
That's what it's called.
I don't know that one.
Oh, you gotta go look it up. I wanted
Maybe
to
I
be.
just don't know the title.
All right.
But give me more of
It's a
the
good one.
story.
So I wanted to be a dancer, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go audition. I have a boyfriend, all of those good things. I want to be a dancer. I'm going to an audition. Maybe like a couple months after that, I found out I was pregnant.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, my life is over. Like I never wanted kids. I always said I wanted to be married, not to my race, and be rich. That was my dream. That was my claim to fame. I wasn't having no babies. All having babies all around here.
Wow.
I found out I was pregnant. I remember when I found out, I was in the emergency room and they told me, and I'm like, okay. I came home. I was outside with I think I told my friend, the first person I told, and she's like, nah, you don't seem happy. I'm like, I don't know if this is what I really want. You know, I told my mom I'm pregnant. She's like, so, and yeah, you're keeping it. I said, okay. Life was over. In my head, my life was over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with a baby.
But really, it was just getting started.
So the belly and stuff, I remember having pictures, like, when I was pregnant, but I don't remember, connecting with that belly. I don't.
Being affectionate.
I wasn't.
Because you felt like once you found that out, everything else was out the window.
It could have been that and experiences while you're being pregnant. I didn't have great experience with my significant other at the time.
Okay.
It was a lot with that, and I'm like, you know what? We've been together for a long time, maybe about 3 years, and I'm like, we having a baby, and no one's happy. Like, so I'm not happy either.
Wow.
But after I had him,
Question. I was gonna let you finish,
Go
but
ahead.
a question. So I could see,
You gotta move
you
up.
had a plan. You had a plan. I was real comfortable, wasn't it? You had a plan. Your plan was to basically go live your life. You wanted to be a dancer.
Right.
So when you found out you were pregnant, you were like, my life is over. Mm-hmm. Not realizing and understanding that you could still live with the blessing that you receive, because children are a blessing.
Absolutely.
So did you have, even though your mom says, and I get the adage of moms being, you gonna keep that child, like you not having a say about it. Like, you pregnant, you gonna keep it, but did you have an ear? Did you have a rapport with your mom where you were able to say, but mom, this, and did you have somebody to pour into you? Were you missing the compassion and the hope that, okay, you're pregnant, you could have the baby, but guess what? You're going to be fine. You can do all things.
well, I grew up in a household with a lot of siblings. So my mother was a mother of 9. So, watching my mother, I think it was just for me thinking, because she was just a mom. Mm-hmm. She was only a mom. That's all she could be with 9 kids. I felt like I was going to live that same life.
Okay.
Was I able?
That answers it.
Was I able to communicate with her? Mm-hmm. I never tried to. I can't say that I wasn't able, because I've never said anything to her. Mm-hmm. I just took everything that she always said, just whatever. Okay, that's what it is. Or if I did question anything, I never, I guess, had the guts to say something. Because I always had a mouth. I was real mouthy, but never for a purpose. Like, I can't come to you and say how I truly feel. I'll flip out, Like, I'll say everything when I'm upset. Mm-hmm. Never when I'm at that calm place and my thoughts are wandering, So imagine that being a mom, too, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
Yes.
That makes sense, because you saw something that you've already deemed, I don't want no part of that.
Almost like you resented it.
And because I was a active daughter in the house, I was cleaning, I was I was doing a lot of things, and I'm like, this is not what a child do.
Right.
But it wasn't because my mother made me. I think it was me trying to be that child that helped my mom. So I was always a helper. I just wanted to do for myself. I didn't want to take on anybody else that was gonna stop me. You know,
Right.
that's what it was.
That makes sense.
So now we move forward. You still be dancing a little bit?
I'm just down.
I had that.
You know, I got TikTok out. I do not have the guts to be on no camera with no TikTok. No.
Do you
But
like
I
make
do be in the
videos like
house.
for yourself or anything? No.
But I recently started getting in the house dancing with my son. Like doing TikTok.
Okay.
We will not upload them. They will not be on the internet. They will not be.
But as long as
I
you
still
do
got
it.
I still got
I
it.
still got it.
You might have to do a little dance off.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You don't want this work.
If I call 911, I start dancing, but okay.
All right.
No. So, but I'm glad that you do that. You say you do it with your son. So now we fast forward. We know that you're a mother of 4. However, you have him. Things transpire. Life is going on. Life is moving. And now, where does child 2 come in?
I meet someone, well, not meet. I ran into someone I grew up with and ended up communicating with him. That's father number 2.
Okay.
It was maybe like a year and a half after my son, so it was about my son turned. He's like 2. He'll be turning 3, maybe in that age bracket. And I was just invested to find in a relationship. You know, I just wanted to be in a relationship. I don't have anything else to do. So I'm working, I got this child, I want a life too, you know?
Yeah.
So I started communicating with him, and I actually conceived quick, about 3 months in. Wow.
That was quick.
Very fast. Yeah, now I think about it, no. 3 months in, I was conceived baby number 2. Now with this child being pregnant, it was different. I do remember being pregnant, and I was actually happy being pregnant. But the disconnect came at the end because I was going to have my child, and my child's father was incarcerated. Like literally, like maybe the top of the month that I was supposed to have my child. Devastated. Now I have to
that's a
relive, connecting again.
Yes.
Not with just 1, 2. That was a lot for me. I'll have to go in sacrifice mode.
Right. So when we talk about that parenting for yourself, do you think that's the phase that you were in?
Very much.
Parenting. I also looked at it, parenting from pain. Parenting from past trauma, from resentment. Because I remember when you said my mom was just a mom.
So I don't connect with childhood trauma. I don't feel like I have childhood trauma because I was never like hurt as a child. I didn't feel like I was made, to do anything that I did. I wanted to do it.
Okay.
I was connected to cleaning the house. For some reason as a child, I loved the feeling of the house being clean.
That's good because
I was
most kids, they hate cleaning the house. But I loved organization.
That was a passion for me. Like, I loved it. And when we mopped the floors, and then when she came and sang, she was so excited. And I'm like,
She
like
never had to
this.
tell you,
Never.
oh, do this, do that. No.
Never. So I guess that's how I connected with my mom without talking to her.
Okay.
But we where was I at? Baby number 2. Okay.
You say, and you didn't connect with childhood trauma, but we said parenting from pain, parenting for self. Is that where that came in?
Parenting for self came in sacrificing for them. Believing that I'm sacrificing for them, but I'm really doing it for my own good. Getting with someone and having another child was not the right idea of being a better mother to my first child. I still had connecting to do because I'm working all of these hours in one day.
Right.
And I'm coming home at the wee hours in the morning. I'm sleeping. I'm having panic attacks. I'm frantic. I'm going crazy because he's crying. How do I have time for a relationship?
Right.
Where do I find time? Oh, but I found it.
I was about to say you made it.
Oh, I made time. and I got pregnant too. I didn't think about, are you really gonna have another kid?
Right.
Are you? This is not the right thing to do. Well, I was happy. He made me so happy. I'm a little foolish again. I'm 23. I'm grown. I don't need nobody telling me nothing. I'm grown. No one said anything to me, and I don't believe that it's not because they didn't want to. It was because I wasn't going to listen.
You already had your mind made up.
Oh, man. I didn't like authority. Don't tell me nothing. Nothing. And I meant that. Don't tell me nothing. But moving forward, when he was incarcerated, I went into survivor mode. So after I had my child, my mother again was, the sole provider. I got you, go to work. 2 weeks later, I was back at work after having my child. 2 weeks later.
Was you even cleared?
The doctor couldn't tell me nothing either. I was fine. Wow. I'm up, I'm working, I'm back at Taco Bell.
Mom, what would Mama say, girl? Your wound will fall out.
Your wound gonna fall.
Well, if that's the case, I have a great in shape wound, and I've been back to work with all my babies quick. Let's say that.
Okay.
I'm in perfect shape.
My girl said I had a job to do.
So I had to go to work. I have to take care of these children. I just moved the month before I had them. So I'm like, I was working this job, and minimum wage was minimum wage. Like, that's when we were really getting paid minimum wage, even though it's still that price. We were really getting paid that in fast food. So I was making $7.25. My rent was $7.25. I'm gonna do this. I gotta go to work. Yep. So I had my 2 babies with me, and I wasn't driving. I couldn't drive. I didn't have no license. I didn't know how to drive a car.
Wow.
So that's 2 children. I have to get on the bus. My mother maybe lived like 30 minutes away, walk, and my job was 30 minutes from my mom. So
okay.
I got up, got my kids together. I walked to my mom's, and I walked to the job. Mind you, I just had a baby.
So it would be a 30-minute walk?
It would be an hour total and back.
It's going to be further.
So I go take my babies to my mom, drop them off, go to work. It's 5 p.m., mind you. 3 a.m., do the same thing. I walked. I got on the bus, rain, sleet, hell or snow, to take care of my kids. But I don't know if I was a nurturer. Because I came home, I had to get up. This schedule was everywhere. So, when people make your schedules, it's like, you got to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday this week, and next week you got to work Wednesday, Friday. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to do everything. So it was so discombobulated. My life was like crazy. I remember it was a storm, and I was walking. No money for the bus. 2 kids. Pay rent due. I ain't had time. I'm a walk. I was walking, and my stroller got stuck. And I just had a breakdown. So at that time, my son was about to start school, and I didn't know what school he was going to go to. Because I'm like, okay, my mom already watched the kids. Who's going to take them? I don't drive. I can't take them. I have to go to work. I'm not going to be able to pick them up. It's how I'm going to do this. I called his dad that day, my oldest, and said, I think I'm going to need you. Before this, we were like splitting the week. 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, back and forth, We always made it work with co-parenting. So shout out to him. He's a great father. I think I got lost. It's a little hard. I didn't give him, but I asked his father to take him.
Okay.
He's starting school. I need you. Like, I can't do this. That was my first time saying I can't do something. Mm-hmm. I need you. I can't do it. I can't do this by myself. Not even though you have him, I can't do this. I don't care if it's for 3 days. I just can't right now. He needs to go to school. I was worried about his education. At that point, I do believe that I did parent for him. It wasn't about me anymore. It was about making sure my kid was okay.
And you reached out, you opened your mouth. Yes. And we were just talking about that. Like, I remember when she asked you, did you ever ask your mom this? And you were saying, really, I never went to someone when I needed to, but this is a
That was
moment
my first time.
when you did. You had to take a moment when that storm.
When I
When that storm
stroller
came.
stuck. I got a real cute stroller, a 3-wheel, and it's bumping.
But here's a point I want to make. You said that you had initially with your first child there was a disconnect, right? But when you went to tell us about the storm, you said this was hard for me. Right? So was it hard because you never had to ask anybody for anything, or was it hard because you had to ask his father to help out? What made it hard? Because for me, at that moment, there was a connection. Even though, you work, you come home, you're tired, you're frustrated or whatever, he's crying. In that moment, when you just said that, what I felt was a connection to your child. So was that a connection to him? You didn't want to let because you're taking care of him. You're used to seeing him, having him around. So talk about that a little bit, because to me, even though you say there was a disconnect, okay, I understand that, but somewhere there was a connection.
He was around me when I was carrying consistently. The connect, I believe, it was just in that moment. It was, I can't allow him to go through this.
That's your connection.
I can't allow him to go through my decisions.
You can't allow him to suffer.
Yes.
That's the connection.
Through my decisions. This is not his decisions. And living in this dynamic because of his mother was just selfish. I knew in that moment it's selfish because I don't want to say, oh, I'm a great mom. I'm this, I'm that. I'm not taking my kids through something that they don't have to go through if they have someone else to give them better. And his father, it was his only child, and he was okay with having him. When I made that call, he said, cool, I got you. Yeah. I had no problems, none whatsoever.
That was awesome.
I just want to say that's parenting with a purpose.
That is definitely parenting with a purpose.
So I guess.
Because you put the best interest of
responsibility,
your child.
taking responsibility, being active. All along, I feel like you was parenting with a purpose, whether you saw it or not. Even you saying, I got to go get a job. I got somebody else to feed. Do you know how many people still choose to sit around knowing their situation is their situation and waiting for others to turn it around or to do something or to make something happen for them? You knew that you now not only had to make something happen for you, because things were on pause. Some things were on pause. So now you got to make something happen for you still and your babies.
And at that point in time, I was only thinking about me, though. I can't tell y'all that it was fully about them. It was like, it's hard for me to do this every day. It's hard. Now I'm in the snow. It's hard for me.
But you were doing it.
So now that I'm older, I understand it was for them and their safety. It was, in that moment, it was for me. It was for me. Because it was just too hard for me. I'm getting up early in the morning and
Can I ask you a question? Why you wasn't driving?
I ain't know how to drive.
You never wanted to learn?
Never desired to get in the car and go. No.
So you drive now?
Absolutely.
When did you start?
Shoot, after number 2. So
What?
the story on getting a car, I think I got my income tax one year and I said I would buy a car. Girl,
And you have no license.
I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have no license. It's funny because I'm tearing up.
Just rolling there.
Hold on, wait. I didn't even know how to drive when I bought my car. So, oh man. So okay. I have to finish the first part before I can say the second part because this is another thing. So with number 2, his dad was incarcerated at the time, so I didn't have to help with him. So I'm like, we gonna rock out though. He's gonna go with his dad, and we gonna rock out. I got you. I got you, bobblehead. I got you. We got this.
Right.
My mom gonna help me. Let's go. Now, once he went with his dad, I'm like, I'm ready. I could do this. So I'm at Taco Bell for a while. And I'm going back and forth to this job. They sending me over there.
Different location.
Yeah, different location. I'm like, I have to get a car, but I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to drive. Long story short, I'm not gonna go too far into detail with this. I actually met somebody while I was at work. I was dating him for a little while. It was not a great experience. That experience my child had to go through. I'm really not comfortable talking about it because it's just something I like to forget about. But dealing with him in that moment and at those times, and it was fast again because I had an issue with connecting relationship-wise, but disconnecting in my regular life. You know, I guess it was something for me to just like look forward to.
Okay.
You know, I need to smile too. I need someone who's gonna make me smile because I am miserable. Like I got this going on. I wanted to be this. I can't be that. I was going through all of that.
Something to not make reality. Like how some people drink or smoke.
Right.
That was like
me. It was dang. I'm really saying this. It was men. It not different men, but it was a person in my life.
Okay.
I needed that for some reason. I was needy of that at that time. I said I got my income tax. I said I'm getting a car. I'm not getting nothing else. I'm getting a car. I went to Philly. I paid for that car. I looked at him and said, I can't drive. I'm not driving this car back. Well, how you gonna get it back? I said, you gonna get somebody to take it back for me. He parked in front of my mom's house. So I parked my car. I'm walking back and forth to work every day still. One day it was raining. I moved from Sharon Hill to Chester. And I said, I'm getting in the car. My mom said, and with who? I said, with him and with my niece. I got in that car and rode straight down. It was a straight ride. Yeah. Straight. I made it home that night. The next day I drove down the street and ran the red.
You did a little bit more?
The next day I rode down the street to go to work or to drop my son off. And I ran the red light for the first time. I had no license, but congratulate me because I got my license in the same year.
Good.
I went and got, you know, that was the first great accomplishment I had was getting my permit.
Okay.
I treated that like it was my high school diploma because I ain't had that. I treated that like it was the greatest. It felt so good to finally do something for myself. I'm like, okay, I got this.
Because you always felt like you was doing something for the kids.
I felt like that. That's probably why I felt like I was just. It's crazy because I say I'm doing it for me. In my head, I felt like I was doing it for me. But it's like I can't keep letting. My job was I can't keep letting us go through this, and they right there. That's wrong. So now that y'all keep saying it to me, it wasn't for me then. Because my words is not matching how I felt. If that makes sense.
Your actions.
My actions are not.
Your actions were different.
Right.
You were saying it was for you, but in actuality, your actions cared for your children.
I was beating myself.
Because walking through that rain, you had enough. Me and this baby cannot keep doing this, getting caught in this weather.
I on the bus to Chester's.
So we got to figure it out. They sending me to this location, that location. It's taking me different time frames to get to work, so I have to do something else.
Right.
And you didn't give up.
Yeah.
Never did.
Absolutely not.
So with that baby, you know, I learned struggle is not going to last for long. But I've always had a place. I've always had that comfort of their own home. I always had that. But somewhere I did not know when to connect the nurturing way. Maybe that's what it was. It wasn't a nurturing. I wasn't a nurturer at that
So
time.
what do you think of like a nurturer? Yeah, what do you consider a nurturer to be?
Just the characteristic trait of just caring about others, loving on somebody, affection, you know?
Did you hold them?
Not really. I don't remember, like, of course I held them, but I didn't breastfeed and things like that, so it wasn't something that's
don't have to
regular.
breastfeed
Right, but I'm just saying, like, something that's very close to me. I held them, but I think it's because they were crying, or, I mean, I was the mom. I had to walk around the house with them in my one hand and do things like that.
I did too.
Right, but I don't think it was like, I've never been a person who sat down to watch TV or to do things like that. I was so busy. I was a busybody since a child. Like, I'm running around the house cleaning and doing the most and going to the market with
So
my mom.
like maybe doing the minimum. You made sure you You
I made
did
sure
the
they did.
minimum,
Right. I
so
changed
they
their
could
Pampers.
be okay.
No one ever changed my kids' Pampers unless it was my mother. I changed their Pampers. I bathed them. I did those things. Of course, not of course, but I did those things.
But taking that extra step, like she said, reading to
Reading
them,
to 'em.
talking with them, you know, maybe doing card games and different stuff.
That was down the line. That was down the line. With those two children, never. Never. The park, no. It was always work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. I had 2 jobs all the way up to when on my second child I had 2 jobs. So it was like I was always at work. The first steps, my sister was there for baby number 2. I was there for my first son, but like I said, at that point of time, it was like, oh, he walked. But you know, it was the difference between baby number 1 to baby number 4 when she walked. It was like tears coming. Oh my God, things like that.
You were in a different space.
I was in a different because I mean that was forced on me. That was forced. So I'm trying to think. It's a lot. Goodness gracious. Where were we at with him?
Nurturing, because what you saying, like nurturing. Do you think you were a nurturer?
What is a nurturer to you? If you don't mind me
Just
asking.
spending time with your child, other than
You gotta remember the mic.
spending time with your child. I'm sorry, I jumped up there like that, the mic, but just spending time with your child, other than, you know, providing the necessities, whether you're changing a pamper, just looking at your child, you know, holding them and talking to them, singing to them, you know, even when you're feeding them, you know, that was a conversation or something going on to stimulate them, and bonding. That's just bonding with your child. I did that with all 3 of my children.
That happened with baby number 3. I started experiencing that with baby number 3. Was it in the relationship, but his father came home. Baby number 2, father came home. Terrific father. From day 1, he was with his son daily, every single day. He would come pick him up, drop him off. I got you. We ended up rekindling and getting married. But maybe like 3 months into our marriage, he got murdered. So my son lost a child. I mean, my son lost a father, and I lost a husband, unfortunately.
That was a huge.
It was huge, but like I said, I didn't have emotions. I wasn't emotionally connected to anything. That's how I knew I wasn't. I am now, so to be connected to so many things now and not experiencing those connections, I know I wasn't. I know for sure I wasn't. Because when it happened, I was just like,
Physically you're here, but mentally you're not. Where's baby number 1 when all this is he still with his father?
Baby number 1 was coming. All right. So for those that was 2 there, me being pregnant, he was there. He went with his father once I had my son, maybe like 3 months in. He was back and forth.
Okay.
You know, but I only had him maybe like the weekend, but that stopped. And I probably did not see my son for a little while.
Like a year.
I was maybe I wanna say about a year and a half.
And was that like your decision because where you were at?
It was. I was going through too much, and I don't think I stopped and realized how quick. I mean, that time went by. You were not there. I never really realized these things until they hit me, and this is with everything. I never really realized it until it hit me. Why are you not with your son? What's going on? And his dad wasn't the type of father that would like push to do. He would just let me get myself together. I guess that's his mindset. I never asked him how he felt in that moment. But for me, I felt like I was abandoning my child. Not that I didn't love him. Not that he wasn't around. Not that I couldn't see him. It was, he's young. I have to call his dad. I felt guilty. I got this baby. He's just a child, a young kid. And it was just, so sheesh.
Wow. So let's fast forward.
Yeah.
So we got baby 1, we got baby 2. We know you had the transition of losing your husband.
Right.
baby one is still with his father majority of the time. You're seeing them periodically.
My son was coming every weekend.
Okay. And then that stopped.
After he passed away, it stopped.
Okay, so you could take some time to yourself.
Yeah.
And try to regather. Yeah. So now let's fast forward. We have all 4 now.
Okay. Yep.
And all 4 are with you.
3, my oldest is around whenever he feel like it. Calls me every day. Mom, can I, when you come in?
Yeah.
We
How's
got a
the
great
relationship with the 4 of them amongst each other?
They love each other. They know each other. All of my brothers are my favorite.
I love that.
Who's your favorite? Bean? Everybody. All of them.
I love that.
So yes, he's around. I like to give myself a little bit of flowers. This year,
You should.
he played football. I was there.
The
every game.
oldest?
Yes, I was there every game for the first time.
Wow, that is awesome. You should.
I was so excited.
You
I'm on the
should.
field. He's like playing different. I'm like, yes, son.
I'm here. I get to show up.
Because I had to work. Fast forward, I create my own schedules. No one can tie me down.
Oh, because you management now, right?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Management is what locked me into jobs. It's not worth it. It wasn't worth my mental. I feel like I'm missing out. And been through a lot of traumatic things that I had to lose jobs because of things that were happening in my life because of my decisions. And my babies was more important. But my real reason of making my own schedule is my son, my baby number 3. It's crazy I gotta keep saying the numbers. Baby number 3 was diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
So I had to be there.
More hands-on.
Oh, it's time. The time is now. This child needs me.
More hands-on, more being present more.
That and another traumatic experience.
Okay.
So with that, all right, so with baby number 2 into baby number 3, his father passed away, and I rekindled with one of my childhood forevers that I felt like was going to be my husband forever. Got pregnant again. So, got pregnant again very fast.
And this is when we have number 3.
Third baby.
Yeah, pregnant again very fast for the 3rd time. What was going on in Aisha's head? Oh, you are selfish. What is wrong with you? Are you serious? Like, is this all?
So you beat yourself up a lot.
Oh yes, all the time. Is this what your life is consistent of? Like just babies? Like nothing else. Just babies. Relationships. I am not ever worried about saying I have 3 fathers because wonderful fathers. I pick great fathers, just not great spouses.
Okay.
They're wonderful. My children love their fathers. We have great co-parenting, and I have no issues.
That's awesome.
That's not my problem. My issue was I wasn't right to be anyone's wife. In my religion, you get married. In every religion, I believe they say get married, but I literally were getting married. Like I'm getting married. So having a child so fast within the death of my ex was wild to me. And I'm like, did I really make this decision and to have another child? But with that child, I was carrying alone. I wasn't in a relationship. So that was a lot. So was I not connected? I was connected on that baby. Although I worked 2 jobs, I was crying to myself, baby, I hope you be good. But I was stressed, a lot of stress. And going to work, coming home, my second child was like my caretaker. Like he loved me to death. Like mommy, mommy. He's never left my side. It was just me and him.
Wow.
I'm not going to do the same thing I did for nobody with my first son. Nobody's getting my child. His father is not here. Thinking back now, my son was with his father. He wasn't with nobody else. He was with someone who created him also.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna big myself up for that because a lot of people that wants that don't have that. So I had that, but with this one I didn't, and now I'm carrying a child, and my baby is helping me. I was extremely depressed, but not showing it. Oh, I was the happiest person on the outside. No one could tell.
So do you think you had went to that place for parenting for self versus parenting for your child at that time? You reverted back?
I did.
So when do you think the transition happened when, because I as I listen, you were parenting for your children. Little do you know it or not, or are able to recognize, however, when do you feel as though, what child do you feel as though you were parenting for your children, not for yourself? And what do you consider to be parenting for your,
Baby number 3. I consider that I did the switch over, I pivoted.
Is it because when baby number 3 was diagnosed, or did it happen before?
No, it happened while I was pregnant with him.
Okay.
Because I felt like he was conceived by mistake. Because it wasn't a real relationship. It was just
you guys were just dealing
one time, and I got pregnant. I found out months later, and I'm like, my baby needs me. This is where I stop. My baby needs me.
Yeah.
But going through that process was a very stressful process because I don't have nobody to rub my belly. I always felt like, when you feel like when you have kids, you want the fairy tale life. Somebody talking to your belly. Hey, I always see it on TV.
You know what, Aaisha?
And I'm like, this is not what I see on TV.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with me? God, why me? So I used to pray, and I used to beg God, like, please release all this stress from me, like, please. But I know I was stressed. And I said to myself, God's giving you all these kids to love on something correctly. That's when I had a aha moment. Well, my baby gonna be straight. Although it was still stress when it came to the physical part, because I had to working 2 jobs with a baby. Going through the situation that I was in, it was supposed to be, it's a man I knew since I was 16. I wanted this man to be my husband for my whole life.
Right.
And I finally got the person that I wanted. But no, not right now. So I went through that, and I had the baby, and his dad ended up coming back around the day I had him.
Was that a good thing, a bad thing?
It was a wonderful thing at that moment, yeah. It was a wonderful thing at that moment.
But it wasn't healthy.
That?
Yeah, it wasn't
There's something
healthy.
behind that because you did the.
It wasn't healthy in a way that you don't deserve it. I went through all that by myself. You don't deserve to have me and my child at this moment.
So why did you feel as though the child didn't deserve to have the other
I didn't feel
parent?
that way.
Okay.
I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
That's when I started parenting for my children, not for myself. Because of decisions that I've made. He wasn't the only one who made that decision. I was an acting participant.
Right.
So I became pregnant. That's what you get when you do things you ain't supposed to do. At the moment, you ain't supposed to do it. So, I don't blame him for nothing. So when he did come around, I took that as he wants to be a father. And he never left from that day.
Oh, okay.
So he's been there for day 1 of birth. The birth was horrific. So having that baby that day, everything happened so fast. I went into labor. My mother was sick. She lived with me, but she left that day to go home. I went to labor that day on my living room floor.
Wow.
After going to the hospital, sending me home on my living room floor, I'm sitting there like I'm about to have this baby today. I went to birth, and it happened to be on his father's birthday. I went into labor on his father's birthday. I had him the next day. It was hilarious. So on his birthday, he was sitting in the emergency room after us not dealing with each other the whole time.
Wow.
So I don't know if that was, of course, God made that happen, and he was a great father. From that point on, we were parents. We were parents of him, and my second child was living. Of course, we were all living together, and my oldest, I'm trying to think, wasn't around yet.
Okay.
doo-doo-doo.
So still with his father.
Still with his
and
father.
still today
Still in
he's
the
with
area.
his father.
Yeah, but that's because I'm the only child, mom. But he coming home soon. I feel that coming. He coming home soon. He ready to be with mama. Like, that's cool. Mama bear is where
So
it's
with
at.
your husband, is baby 4 your husband now?
No. Baby number 4 is my ex-husband's.
Okay.
So my 3rd and my 4th is by the same father.
Okay.
We were married for a little while. And yeah, we stuck it out for
So how is that whole dynamic with everyone?
with their father.
Yes.
Ooh, they're with their daddy every week. He has my son, baby number 3. He has some Wednesdays through Fridays and every other weekend, and he
Okay.
also have his daughter every other weekend. And it's a wonderful,
Yes.
it's a wonderful co-parent, and he's married. I love her too. So
That is awesome.
we have a family. That's my family. It's my second family.
So with all that you done went through, for moms who, cause like you didn't mind saying like, I have child number this, child number, father this number, father that number. You know, some people don't want you to know that they have multiple fathers, or you know, the relationship that they hold with the other parent and different things of that nature. You were able to talk about that tonight. To the mother, you know, or to the young lady, to the lady, the female that is going through like a situation similar to yours, not knowing exactly where she wants to go. She know things she wants to do, but she doesn't know exactly where she wants to go. Because when I heard your younger self, it was like, I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a backup dancer for Usher, you know, but you didn't say, you know, my plan was to do this and do that, you know, when I get out of school, or I was going to drop out, or like you said,
I
you know.
got kicked out.
Right. You know, you said I was expelled, but this was still my goal. I had an audition, but once I got pregnant, it was like, oh, everything is done now, you know. That was your younger self. What would you say now in the place that you're in? What would you say to a female that's going through that? Whether they be 16, whether they be 25, whatever age it may be, because sometimes we think we put ages on things like, oh, I got to be married by this age. I got to graduate college by this age.
That clock that they talk about.
Yes.
What is that clock they call?
I don't know, a time clock.
Yeah,
we put a time
no,
clock on
it's
things.
not the time clock. It's the oh my
Like-
God.
like-
the
But
what's
you
the
talk
name
about
clock?
the clock when you having a baby.
Yeah,
say
they
it's-
put them clocks on everybody. Like,
Yeah. So it's like you put a time clock on everything. You know, I mean, it's good to have a plan. It's good to have goals. It's good to have vision. However, when obstacles come, when you have to accept your consequences for your decisions, what would you say to that younger lady?
At first, I would tell her if it's 16 to 18 years old. How would I say this in a very respectful, caring way? There's other things out here outside of having babies. You don't have to have a baby young to grow up with your child. You know, we use that, oh, I want to grow up with my child. I would say to the 16 to 18-year-old, don't even think about having a child right now. If you are in that situation, I would say lace your boots, stand on business, and make better decisions. Don't do it continuously again. It's not an easy task. Mm-hmm. And you're not always going to be with the person you have a kid by. Whether you're married, young, nothing. You're going to always go through trials and tribulations. And can you handle it? Do you have the characteristic traits to even be that mother at that age? For someone that's going through it, or worrying about saying, you know, what their life is? Or
not even so much that, except like accepting, like when you got to the point and had to say, you know, this is my situation, this is what I gotta do.
Accepting what you do. I mean, you're not a victim. You're an acting participant. Mm-hmm. Understand that. Don't be in that victim mindset. Oh, I had a baby and this person ain't doing this, that person not doing. It's about you. You create great relationships with the other parent. it's up to you on what you want. And if they do not want it, let them be what they are until they can't be anymore. Don't force it. Focus on yourself. Focus on your kids. Because if you keep focusing on being a victim, you're gonna always have a victim mindset. Yep. Like, you gotta move forward. That. You gotta move forward. But for my babies out there, please don't do it. Please don't do it. I don't care if you're in love. Love is not everything. And to be honest with you, I was not in love having these babies. I wasn't. It had nothing to do with love.
So what was it, just lust? Or was it just something to do?
It was just...
Or you just wanted a boyfriend? Or what was it?
Our environment, it depends on your environment. I was in front of it. At my front door. That's all that was there. It wasn't when my mom was younger and they had the movie theater or the skate rings. What was at my front door? And I jumped off the porch late. So I was you know what jump off the porch mean? No.
Being outside.
Yeah, I wasn't outside like that. I wasn't catching me outside at 16. So I jumped off the porch late. So it was like I didn't know nothing about it's dudes outside.
Testing the water.
I was just testing it. And I was always in a relationship. I was snatched up all the time.
Wow.
You know, a relationship. I got older and said, I'm not nobody's girlfriend. I gotta be your wife. But then I learned that being a wife is not forever. If you don't have the tools, being a wife and a mother, oh baby, you got a rude awakening. You got a rude awakening believing that you're gonna be a good wife and a mother without any work. Yeah, touche on that.
So my question to you is, how are you, and I said because you have a daughter, how are you with your daughter? How are you going to be with your daughter as she's growing and now today her day is going to be different, going to look different from yours.
Yeah.
Yours looks completely different from mine.
Yes.
So how are you going to be present to be able to have those important, crucial, life-changing conversations with your daughter? What's the impartation to her?
That's a good question. Well, it starts now at 4.
Oh yeah.
My baby, I realized that I didn't know who I was in totality. I was trying to find who I was through relationships. I'm happy when I feel good when. Now I had to find myself. You know, I didn't start doing like work on myself till about maybe 30, 31. I'll say 31 to be safe. I'm gonna be honest. 31 to be safe. I had to step outside of everything and say, what do you need for yourself? So with my baby, she's 4, has been doing affirmations since she was 1.
I love it.
I need her to know that she's beautiful. She's strong. She's loved. She's protected.
Yes.
Every day, this is her words. I just added, I am respectful, because she has to learn how to not, they get at that age, they start spitting and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
You're respectful. Respectful people don't do stuff like that. I am, hold on. What's the other words? She be adding stuff. But she's a princess. So I always tell her all the time, you're worthy. You're worthy of whatever you feel like worthy is, and don't ever allow nobody to take that away from you.
Yes.
Don't ever feel like you have to build yourself up around other people, for other people. It's about you.
Right.
What I do that I don't do with my sons, I don't tell her everything. I'm very transparent with my sons when it comes to communicating in the house, because I don't like the generations. What goes on in my house stays in my house. You are a child, stay in a child's place in every aspect of life, because he's not. They're not just a child. Mm-hmm. They are a living human being that needs to use their voice. I didn't have a voice. I had a mother that I probably could have came and talked to, but I didn't feel like I had a voice because she wasn't the communicator. Mm-hmm. Like, how are you? When I got expelled, how do you feel? I was devastated. Like, girl, I'm a straight A student, and they expelled me. You ain't fight. That's how I felt.
No, I'm with you.
That's how I felt. You ain't fight. What you ain't fight for me for? But, I mean, maybe she thought because I was fighting all year long, you ain't care. So with them, with my daughter, it's like I limit the things that can maybe traumatize her. You know, she asks me every day, "Mommy, are you happy? Are you happy today?" Because I'm happy today, and my baby's going to be the future business owner. So look out for her lemonade stand.
So you encourage and empower her to be her best self at age 4. So that's
all of them, and making sure they understand they have a voice.
My oldest son is now understanding and knowing what he wants to be, or is adjusting himself to be something when he gets older. Because it was always I don't know. Mm-hmm. My 10-year-old, he wants to start a hoodie business and things like that, but he didn't know. I don't know, and finding his identity is now. Mom, how was my dad? How was my dad? Honestly, you probably know your dad better than I do. You was around them more. And you don't know him because he was only with him for a year before he passed away. So he now has my husband to help him build his confidence. Oh, he's more confident now. Like, my husband is amazing. I get a little tear sometimes when I talk about him. He's amazing. So coming into that household, he's still working on my son, my oldest son, a little bit, because he's more close to me. Mm-hmm. But I need him to be that to my oldest son because I want him. He's the first man. He's going to be the first man. The 10-year-old got some time, but little man is about to be stepping out off them porches, and I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. When your son come to you and ask you about girls, only thing I could do is don't touch that girl without her saying yes. Don't touch that girl if her mom don't know. Like, don't kiss nobody. I don't know what their mom teaching them.
Right. No, but I'm with you. And, well, as always, thank you so much for coming and sharing. Mm-hmm. And I love what you said about you're not a victim, you're an active participant. And I feel like that goes in that can fit in a lot of different areas of your life. Here on Parenting with a Purpose, we've been dealing mainly with education.
Right.
So, we starting the new year off, and then we have a parent coming on here talking about, your struggle growing up, becoming a parent when you still trying to figure out, like, this is what I wanted to do. Like, I feel like I got to let this go. All this is going because now I got to be a parent. So all along, you was always parenting with a purpose. You was always taking responsibility of your actions, of your choices, you feel me? No, you didn't want to always accept the consequences, but you learned to navigate through them. And now you have 4 beautiful children that, like you said, be on the lookout because the youngest already knows she want to have a lemonade stand, and I think that's adorable.
That goes to show when you change up your bad habits. My habits were not great, and it had to be habits.
And you knew you needed a change.
Yeah, I needed to change.
Identifying that you need to change, and that's what Parenting with a Purpose is all about. Like, it's not about beating each other up. It's about coming together, talking, because as you were saying, like, oh, I wasn't a nurturer, I'm not. But as you actually talk about it and really listen, you were the whole time. Me, what I define as nurturing may not even be Webster's dictionary version of nurturing. Right. But I did what I knew. Like you said, I did what was in front of me. Right. So at one point, you had to learn that I can no longer be a product of my environment. I can no longer say, oh, I wasn't taught this. Because now you're responsible for how you raised you as an adult.
How I teach them.
Exactly, because our children are somebody and they have somewhere to go.
No, I didn't.
Exactly.
I know I didn't do my best because I asked my kids, was I doing my best?
But at the time, you were. Because that's what you knew to do.
Yeah.
That's what you knew to do.
Older and I'm able to give them the things that they need, they are able to say it.
Right.
My daughter is 4 and tell me, Mommy, I don't want that.
Yes.
I don't like that. I don't like this hair.
She has her voice, which is awesome. But is there something that you wanted to leave?
And watch this. Do we own our children?
Absolutely not.
We do not own our children. They are a gift from God.
We do not own them.
So we're just here to steward them the best way that we know how. And I commend you for your transparency, for your vulnerability. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I could take you to some high schools, talk to a lot
Look
of young
out
ladies.
for me in those schools.
And
Trust me.
sometimes, even when you said, let me say it respectfully, when Pam asks you the question, but sometimes you gotta talk to them little Aishas.
Oh, absolutely.
That don't want to listen. You gotta meet them right where they at, and they're not gonna be okay. No, you're gonna be like, yo, what's up? Now, you know, what I'm saying?
Seriously, they do need it. They
To
do.
me, so they know, like, oh, wait a minute, she's been where I'm gonna head if I don't change up. If I don't get some stuff
I
right.
truly believe that these young girls need it. Like I said, our environment, they don't have the female versions of the programs. They don't have all of those things. They don't have the big sister, little sister programs anymore. I mean, I believe we had it when I lived in Darby. That was
They
like
used to have them, yep.
see. I've never been
programs, they
involved
used
in
to
them
have 'em.
here. Now, when I was in Delaware County, we had those things. Even though I didn't attend because I was too worried about myself, but they had those things. And now it's like young girls are feeling good about getting pregnant about their little boyfriends. Oh, I love him.
Yeah, they have TV shows. They
What
have
is-
reality shows.
Yes, and what these reality shows are doing for our kids is destroying their minds.
Yes.
Social media is destroying our kids' minds. My daughter will not be able to have a cell phone. No, you can't watch YouTube. Absolutely
Oh,
not.
yeah, I don't play
I made that mistake, and I'm not doing it again. No, you're not gonna have a video game.
Because even
Read
when
a
you
book.
think you're blocking something,
Oh, no,
it's-
they know how to
Read
get
a
it.
book
still have access.
because I'm 33
Absolutely.
years old, getting it together when it comes down to being able to stay in line of 5 minutes to read a book. I'm reading 2 pages a day. I can't even get there yet, and I'm 33. Come on, and this is something that I desire. This is something that I truly want, and it's hard to get because I'm breaking bad habits. Just to do, I'm gonna try my hardest to not allow them to have the horrible habits because it takes 30 days to gain one, but it takes forever
To get
to
rid of
break a cycle. And we are breaking cycles after cycles
Yes.
after cycles.
Yes.
And that's another time, another conversation. We don't go down that road with me.
I want to encourage you to continue to be intentional.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will.
Intentional with who you are as a woman, as a mother, as a wife,
Right.
and setting that example and imparting into your children those things that they'll have need of
Right.
as they continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Giving them jewels that they can come back and lean on as they're growing.
Absolutely. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
That's
I would definitely ditto that that intentional. Cause I see it all on you. And even when those moments come, just think of those other 10 great things, those smiles. Like you said, my mom didn't do this, but your baby girl's coming to you asking, how is your day? You know? So that's a point. Keep that in your pocket. That's something you put in your pocket for when those moments come. Because, of course, they come. So when those moments come, make sure you have those things in your pocket that you can pull out that's going to encourage you, that's going to strengthen you, and make sure that you have a village such as Parenting with a Purpose, because here we are here to empower, to uplift, to encourage. Like, no matter what your story was, what your story is, because we're always in a storm, going through one, or coming out of one, but it's always around, you know? And like when you was going through that first storm and that stroller got caught and you said, I got to do something different. I got to do something different because I can't crash out.
No.
I cannot afford it.
Because I ain't going to have a house.
I can't
I ain't
afford
never, I've been a
it.
lot of things. Being homeless ain't going to be one of them.
Okay?
I'll be damned.
So it's...
Cause no, I know
I'm with
people.
you.
I know people in those situations, and I feel for them, and living in storage rooms and living in hotels with your children. I mean, but listen, lace them boots and stand on business. And my husband works. Ain't nobody ever tell you that standing on business was easy. It's a hard job. That's in his words.
I'll
That
put
part.
you on that. But again, I thank you so much, Aisha, for joining us here on Parenting with a Purpose. And then our guest, Mary, as well. Thank you for sliding on me, Mommy, and pulling up. I appreciate you. And shout out to Donna Janelle, who is
Miss Donna.
handling business, Parenting with a Purpose. But we thank you all so much for joining tonight. We will be back next Thursday. So stay tuned. We have another special guest. And as always, 7 p.m. sharp. And we are on all social medias and on all platforms. So make sure you stay engaged, that you stay in touch. And if you don't have a village, come get connected with Parenting with a Purpose. Again, I am your co-host, Pamela, and you have a wonderful evening.
Oh, look at my husband. See y'all.
Is that your husband?
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Parenting with a Purpose.
Be sure to follow us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Parenting with a Purpose. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Be sure to look up Parenting with a Purpose.
Walk off the train and the train still.